Hello, let's solve a cave puzzle. This one's called Consecutive Digits. It's by Serkan Yürekli. I sourced this from GM Puzzles. There's a link in the description. So, how do we play a cave? Well, we need to shade some cells. Those represent the cave walls. The walls always have to connect to the edge. Now, they don't have to connect to each other as long as each of them makes it to an edge. So this is all fine. What's not fine is this. They only connect through. They don't connect diagonally. They only connect through edges. And so this does not. This clump here, this wall, is not connected to the cave edge, and so that's no good. We'd have to like bring it over here or over here, or even connect it to this guy, or connect it to this guy, etc. All right. In addition to that, the unshaded cells are the cave itself, and the cave needs to be fully connected as well. So what we have broken that here. This is no good because we have some cave over here that's not connected to the rest of the cave, and we also have a segment over here that's not connected to this big main one. So we'd have to cut through in some way, and this would be fine. This is fully connected cave. All right. So that's how the shading unshading works and what it represents. Now the numbers tell us how we're supposed to do that. There's only one way to do it. And so like this 4, for example, what it says is above, up, down, left, and right, the orthogonal directions. It tells us how many cave cells we see, including itself. So for example, this would be 4. So if I shade all of these cells here, then to its left it sees 1, above it sees 2, it sees none below and none to the right, plus itself. So these 3 plus itself is 4. That matches our clue. We can have more unshadeds over here, here, here. The wall blocks sight, and so it's just up to the first wall. How many are we seeing, including ourselves? And that is it. I'm going to get started right now. Okay. So 2 is always interesting. In fact, I'm just gonna green every unshade every number cell because the numbers aren't ever shaded. So it only grows 1. Like it's going to take one of these, and then the rest will be shaded. Okay. So this is bad though. We can't shade both of these because it forms a checkerboard. Now, checkerboards aren't explicitly against the rules, but they are implicitly against the rules because they break connectivity. They're guaranteed to break connectivity. This is kind of the first thing you learn about cave, to be honest. One of the first things. So I think a good way to think about this 2 needs to connect to this 3 because all of the unshadeds, all the cave are connected to each other. And so if I connected like this, for example, we've now surrounded that shaded cell, which won't reach an edge. That's bad. If I connect somehow over here, then now I've surrounded that wall, which won't ever reach the edge. So the conclusion is that we aren't doing this. We aren't checkerboarding. So that means that it either grows up or it grows left, meaning it doesn't grow these ways. Now here we're in danger of making a checkerboard. If this was cave, we'd have a checkerboard, so we need to shade that one. All right, I believe this 2, 3 is going to do the same thing, so we can just mark those. All right. So I'm noticing in between here, we can't connect these 3s to each other. If we did that, then we would have 4, not 3. So one of these is shaded. Now, I guess let's just play around with that. If this one was shaded, oh, we'd have to avoid a checkerboard here. If we did this checkerboard, that's bad. So this would also be shaded. And if this was shaded, we'd have to avoid a checkerboard here, shading this. So we know they aren't both unshaded, and if we shade one of them, the other also gets shaded, so they're just both shaded. That means this 2 grows up and stops, this 2 grows down and stops. All right. What about this 3 then? So the way to think about this, I guess, is the 3 is going to grow either here or here, and it's going to get capped by a shaded cell. So there's either going to be unshaded here with shadeds like this, or there's going to be unshaded here with shadeds like that. And so I guess one kind of clean way to think about that is there's going to be a blockage here, and there's going to be a blockage in one of these 2. A wall in one of these 2, wall in one of these 2. Same for this 3, one of these 2 and one of these 2. Oh, this shaded cell has to get out. It's got to get to the wall somehow. It's only got one way out. Don't make a checkerboard here, so this is unshaded. So the 3 also forms a there's a wall, one of these two, wall, one of these two. If it grows down, then there's just walls here, which is still true of wall, one of these two, one of these two. Is this? Oh, this we can't make a checkerboard, so that's unshaded. So that 3 is done. We can surround it. Another checkerboard. Avoidance. Okay, so now this 4 just finishes because it can't go right or down. So that was the only way to complete the 4. Any more checkerboards? Oh, here, yeah. So this is shaded. If there are more checkerboards, I am not seeing them. So what's going on with this 4 here? It could. So what? So if it grows down, it's taking 3. Oh, it's finished. If it grows down, it's finished. We cap here. We cap here. And then this has to connect to the rest of green. And it's going to do so by getting to this 3, which then makes the 3 huge. So that's no good. Another way to put that is we know that there's a blockage here. So this can't actually make the greens connect. So they'd have to connect up here. So we have to block this with a, and this is allowed. It is already connected to the border. And so the 4 finishes here and then blocks that. Don't make a checkerboard, so that's unshaded. This 3 is now done, so it's surrounded. Another checkerboard avoidance. And so now this whole clump is connected to the wall. We don't have to worry about that anymore. This clump here of green has to get out, so it's going to grow down to there. This 4 can't take this one, because then it would be a 5. So that's shaded, which then chases this one down. Because it still needs to connect up with this stuff. So this can't grow here, because then the 3. And so we're actually just chasing around here. Okay. The 4 is done. The 3 is not done. Okay. I wonder. It feels like there's a connectivity thing here. Maybe we think about the 3 or the 4. The 4 could take these 2 and still wouldn't have enough. So it's going to have to go down at least 1. There's no checkerboard or anything here, right? No. Okay. Well, the 3 can't completely connect over here. So there's a barrier here, which means that we have to connect through here. These have to connect to these. I'm trying to explain this properly, but imagine these were both filled. Then you could see that we have to take that. Now, it's not that they're both filled necessarily, but at least one of them is a wall. And so if the wall's here, we have to come through here. And if the wall's here, we have to come through here. So we're always unshading these 2, I suppose. Right, because we have to pass through the wall under it. And so we can't shade this one. We can't unshade this one because then it would be a 4 for the 3. So that's shaded. We don't want to make a checkerboard, and we need to finish the 3 anyway. So that's all true. The 4 finishes here. And these wouldn't be able to reach the rest of the cave. So these are all, opposite. These are all shaded. So we don't want to make a checkerboard here. Well, no, actually. Right, if we make the checkerboard here, this gets isolated, right? This has to come out through here. I was like, why did that checkerboard look like it worked? It didn't. This 3, it definitely can't grow to the right. It's got to grow down, and then that's shaded, and we're done. Okay. That was a neat puzzle. It's like, learn about checkerboards or you're doomed, I suppose. But once you know about it, it was pretty clean. And then just thinking about, like, one of these 2 cells must be shaded, and that blocks access. So connectivity is huge in Cave. Always think about connectivity. Anyway, how'd you do?